Andre Onana is injured. It's not really transfer news, but you know what I mean. The latest big news is that Andre Onana is injured. He suffered a hamstring injury in pre-season, set to miss the whole tour. Race to be fit for start of Premier League season. Man United to weigh up going into the keeper market. Sorry, guys. I know we're supposed to be unhappy about this, right? I know we are. But actually, I think this is a bloody blessing in disguise, my friends. Manchester United, that means we're not going to be starting probably the season with Andre Onana. He's not going to be our goalkeeper on tour. Yes, it's not good news for Andre, bless him. You know, it's really not good news. And also, if we were going to get a new keeper, he would have liked to have been fit and available, I guess, to be able to move in the transfer window, which now it looks like he's not. I don't know if he's just doing a classic Luke Shaw and he's just injured himself, so he doesn't have to move anywhere during the transfer window. That's a possibility also. But actually, I don't think that is the case. And if we are going to get a new goalkeeper, which now it's increasingly likely that we may, then surely Andre Onana's time at the football club is limited. Right, so get well soon, Andre. Let's get a hashtag get well soon, Andre, in there. This isn't nice, guys. This isn't nice at all. Nobody likes to hear this about our players getting injured. But what's the worst case scenario here? Really, we start the season or we have to play pre-season tour with, Heaton or Bayender or someone like that. But probably what it actually means, and that, by the way, wouldn't be any worse than Andre Onana, just so you know, going into the new season anyway. But what it actually means is that now I think Man United sort of have to go and buy a new goalkeeper now. That's what this means. Surely we have to go and get a replacement because 4 to 6 weeks is the prognosis here. This is what Ben Jacobs have said here. He says that Andre Onana will miss Manchester United's pre-season tour of America with a hamstring injury, as Mike McGrath called. 4 to 6 weeks out. Plan is for Onana to train with Man United after they return from the States. Okay, so Andre Onana may well be replaced. I think Manchester United should have gone in and got a goalkeeper in this summer window, and we should still do that anyway, regardless of Andre being injured. I felt that if we really were taking ourselves seriously this season and being ambitious, then what we would do is we would, we would go into the market, we would sign a new goalkeeper, and we would basically strengthen our position. You know, that's it, going into the new season. We've seen what Flubberhands can offer us. He's he butters his gloves in the morning with low back spreadable, guys. I've seen it with my own eyes. Okay, he is a butterfingers, and he is going to make errors and cost us points, and probably would be 15 points again this season, based on just, you know, what he did last season and the season before. You know, we've seen this guy for 2 seasons at the football club. We've had enough time to sort of see how capable he is, and he's incapable, mate, in regards to being United's number one. It's not an easy job, is it? You've got to be one of the best keepers in the world, I think, to handle the pressure of United and to live up to the expectations at United, because we are that sort of team that struggles to find the right goalkeeper quite often. But when we do, we know we've got the right one, be it Peter Schmeichel, Edwin van der Sar, David De Gea. You know when you've got the right one, and we just know that Andre is not the right one. So why flog a dead horse? We should be trying to sell this guy and move him on anyway. Now it's going to be impossible to sell him, obviously, in this transfer window, which is a bit gash. But I suppose you could still do maybe some sort of loan deal later on, or, you know, obviously January window's not that far away, and it wouldn't hurt to have him around as a backup, I suppose, until then. But I actually do think that United now, especially more than ever, need to dip into the window before the end of the window and certainly get in a goalkeeper. The sooner the better. We've talked about options, so let's get into the options for a moment here, because obviously, you know, Man United don't have a lot of money. We're really quite strapped for cash at the minute. We don't have a lot of money. So what we're going to do, we still have to sell players. If we can sell Garnacho, Sancho, Rashford, those guys, then we will generate enough cash to be able to easily sign a good goalkeeper. But we haven't done that yet. So it is massively concerning that we haven't done any business in regards to outgoings just yet, because we haven't generated any cash to use in the window. And it doesn't seem like these Ineos and Glazer shit tarts are going to want to do anything about it anytime soon with their own money. So Man United obviously in a position where we still have to sell to buy, it seems anyway. Because obviously if we weren't in that position, then I believe we would have already gone and tried to sign a striker at the very least, or another goalkeeper or someone else. But we've solely been focusing on Mbeumo, which means that the money is really tight, in my opinion, because surely if you had any sense about you, you would give Ruben Amorim the players before the tour to work with before the pre-season so we can have an actual good start to the Premier League campaign. That's the idea here. So if we're talking about potential candidates to come in, I mean, John Victor is being discussed. Absolutely, Neil. Yeah, we talked about that the other day. John Victor, was he from the Brazilian league, isn't he? Either way, John Victor, not to be confused with Victor John, is apparently a good goalkeeper. I haven't heard anything about this guy, but there you go. John Victor is linked with us. There's a few other options we could potentially go for. I think Martinez makes a bit of sense. He is a bit erratic. He maybe would cause some issues here and there. Who knows? Perhaps with some erratic play, but ultimately he's a much better option than Andre Onana. He's got that proven Premier League experience, big game mentality as well, and he does marshal defences. He does organise much better than Andre. He does command his box much better than Andre. Andre's a bit of a melter in the Premier League when it comes to it. He's shriveled up in the Premier League since he's come here, so he doesn't claim crosses well. All that sort of stuff, commanding, organisation, all that sort of stuff doesn't really do very well. So I think somebody like Martinez would be a very welcome, different sort of goalkeeper. Beyond that, you're talking about spending big money on the likes of Diogo Costa, getting him in from Porto, which would be a lovely, lovely signing. That's the one I'd go for if funds were not an issue. But funds are an issue. Luke CX, big up to yourself. Thank you for the super chat. Can we get some Sues and some love hearts in there for him? Also, if you're just joining the stream, smash the like button. Let's see if we can get 100 likes on this one, just like that. You can share us around as well. That would be amazing. I forgot to say, repost us on X. The link's pinned at the top of the chat there. We'll shout everyone out a bit later on who repost that link right there. Nice one. And of course, like the video, get yourself subscribed and involved in the chat there, legends. Luke CX, thank you so much. He says, reshaping the squad will likely be a multi-window job. Seems like the club's prioritising the 10s versus strikers and goalies. Not sure why. Also, super gassed that I got a ticket for PSG v Chelsea. No way, Luke. That's fucking banging, lad. That's awesome. Come on, PSG. Luke, let's talk about that. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Certainly to get rid of the mess that Ten Hag left, and even players before that, like Luke Shaw, etc. It's going to be difficult to get rid of all of those right now. It is a multi-window thing to get rid of all those players, and certainly to get new players in to replace everyone that we need to as well. Look, I don't know why they've not prioritised the striker or the goalie. It's absolutely crazy to me. I think now they'll be forced to maybe prioritise the goalkeeper signing, though, which is good with Andre Onana's injury, no disrespect. But that is good for us in the sense that now I think they have to go and sign a goalie, in my opinion, unless they really are planning to just have 2 months of Bayern. It's a bit uncertain, isn't it? Not the most, experienced, and certainly Heaton's good, but come on, we can't be going into the new Premier League campaign with Heaton in goals. That just doesn't send the right message at all. He's our third choice goalkeeper. So these guys need to be... we need to replace Onana. It's going to take time for us to get players. I still think we will sign a striker this summer. It'll probably just be a shit one. Probably just be a dirt cheapy jobby, like a DCL, Dominic Calvert-Lewin melt job, or something along those lines, Then again, I wouldn't say no to a cheeky bit of Jamie Vardy action. I must be honest. I know he's getting on a little bit, but I still got a soft spot for Jamie Vardy. I'd definitely take him. Certainly as a backup option, we still should be going to go get a first teamer who's going to be fit and available all the time, the likes of an Ollie Watkins, a Visser, these sorts of players. But it doesn't seem like we're in the market at the moment, does it? Thank you so much for that, by the way, Luke, and that's awesome about you getting tickets. You still think we're getting Mbeumo? I do still think we're getting Mbeumo there, Daz. Yeah. How you doing, Dazster? We've actually got two very good young keepers in Dermotme and Radek Vitek in the academy. Might as well play Burndow and promote one of the youngsters. Try them out in the cup. Don't say that, Tommy Boyle lad. Don't say that. This is our opportunity. This is our chance to get rid of Andre Onana, or at least replace him with a new first-team goalkeeper that's going to give Andre Onana the idea that he is not the first choice, which means that surely when he is back fit and he can move and be transferred away, then, hopefully he'll want to do that. If we've got a new goalkeeper and they're established as number one. So this is our opportunity to sign a new goalkeeper. But I'll ask the live chat, it is a fair point. Yes or no, do you think United sign a new goalkeeper now to replace the injured Onana? Not just the injured Onana, but just to replace Onana. Do we sign a first choice goalkeeper, or would it just be another Billy backup? What do you reckon? But yes or no, do we sign a new first team goalkeeper now? Because of Andre Onana being injured, essentially. Let's get your thoughts and opinions in there. Nas says yes, Piggy. Mark says yes, no, hope so. Bring Fred the Devil. We're broke. Let's sign a keeper. Yes. Afternoon. How you doing, Johnny Swan? Adrian Morris as well. Great to see you. Yes, mate. Ronster says no. Give Vitek a chance, and Onana will never be a first choice again. Yes, there you go. I mean, I hope Onana won't be the first choice again. Vitek definitely does look good. I would like to see him given chances from whenever we've seen him play. He looks pretty decent, doesn't he? Good young player. Give him some chances. I'm not against it. Yes, definitely, says Premier Italia. But firstly, though, for the actual season, you know, okay, somebody like Vitek or even Bayender, they could just be given the nod and go in there and do the job, I suppose. But it's a bit more risky, isn't it? We've seen a few sort of sus moments from Bayender as well, you know. He's not ready yet. I think we need to get somebody who's got more experience at the top level, who's perhaps got Premier League experience. That would definitely help. You know, somebody like, you know, we've discussed it, but Martinez a moment ago, that would have, that sort of level of experience where they know what they're dealing with. They've got bit of a shithouse mentality as well, you know. I'm not against it. I like a shithouse mentality, especially from a goalkeeper. So Emi Martinez is on the cards, I suppose, if we are thinking about replacing him. 25 to 30 million pounds he could be had from Aston Villa. These are the reports earlier on in the window anyway. Maybe he doesn't want to go anywhere. Maybe Villa don't want to sell. We know that they raised 55 million by selling the rights to their women's team, so perhaps they're okay now, but I still think they need to balance the books. If you look at incomings and outgoings so far this season, they're one of the teams that have done absolutely nothing, much like us as well so far, because they just can't. They haven't really got the finances. So I believe if they want to maybe do a bit of business, they perhaps would have to look at selling one or two of their players anyway, which is where United can come in like scavengers and go and get maybe Ollie Watkins and Martinez. So I think it's possible. There's also talks about, you know, who else has been mentioned this summer for goalkeeper? Milinkovic Savic has been mentioned previously. Chevalier, Carnesecchi. People have even mentioned Ramsdale. Let's ask the chat, guys. Have your say. Who would you like to see Manchester United sign as a replacement? A realistic replacement. Don't say Donnarumma, but as a realistic replacement that we might be able to get right now. Perhaps one of these players that we've been linked with. Ruddy, how you doing, you legend? Great to see you, mate. How you doing? Oh, Marek, it's so hot. You may not make it. It's so hot, isn't it? 29 degrees there. It's 29.2 in my sty now, lad. 29.2 in the sty. I'm sweating. I'm moist. Yeah, and not just because Andre Onana's not going to be starting in goals for us this tour. And hopefully at the start of the season. I'm sorry, Andre. I'm sorry. You're a heck of a nice guy. What a nice guy. But he's not up to the task of goalie for United. So the fact that he's got injured, I'm sorry, but you know, I personally, yeah, Billy says there is a God. I personally think it's actually going to be a blessing in disguise for us. It's going to be a good thing. It forces United's hand maybe a little bit here. Well, at least I think it does, because maybe we're just going to do what Tommy says and maybe just go for one of our younger players in there or give it to Bayender. That's sus. That's not good enough. That's nowhere near good enough if we go into the season with Bayender as the number one. I would be sketching out about him maybe being a little bit underpowered, you know, for what we need him to do in the Premier League. He's not got the experience. He does look decent, Bayender, but it's a big ask for him to come and play even the first few games in the Prem. We need somebody who's going to come in and have a couple of really high-class games, which is probably where someone like Martinez maybe comes in. You think about the first few games. Then again, sorry, he's actually suspended for the first few games, so that wouldn't help us for the first few games. I just remembered. So, yeah, that's an issue. But, you know, other goalkeepers, yeah, like you've said, Botafogo goalkeeper John Victor. Let's see what you guys are saying here, then, for who you'd like to see Man United sign. Brilliant excuse for us to get a new keeper. 100% I'm with you. I think it's absolutely nailed on, lad. If we don't, then we're stupid, because this is a perfect chance to get it without upsetting Andre Onana. You know, or I don't, not even that we were too concerned about that. It's not about that, is it? If somebody's not good enough, you've got to replace them. But also, it just means that now there's no sort of like, there can't be that much friction going on. If we sign a new keeper because he's out for 2 months and we need a new keeper, that's just fair enough, isn't it? Surely he'd understand that. Plus also, that makes him a backup essentially, and then from that point on, surely we'll be looking to move him on. Chevalier, good shout, lad. I like it. Convenient injury for Onana. Well, it does stop him from moving in this transfer window. That's the only gash thing about it. So I do like the fact that we're going to have to play somebody else and maybe sign somebody else. I'm happy that we're playing somebody else. I'd still rather Bayender than Onana, actually, because at least he's more of an unproven entity, whereas at least we know Onana is proven guff, proven flubber. So I would even chance it with Bayender over him, but I do think that it's annoying in a way that we can't sell him this summer now, because obviously the window shuts on like the 1st of September. I mean, I guess he could still be sold towards the end of the window, actually, guys. So the reports here are 4 to 6 weeks out. So you know what? The way this is shaping up, look, you can't go into a new season with a keeper who's not played any games in the tour and who hasn't played and been a part of the team and got his fitness levels up and, just sort of got that condition and match sharpness up. No, coming back from a long-term injury, you can't start the season like that. So you'd have to get somebody else there to do so. And 4 to 6 weeks takes us up to around about just the end of August, doesn't it? Which is literally as the window closes. So, the 31st of August, 1st of September, I think it officially, midnight, 1st of September, whatever, I think is when the window shuts. Maybe he could be one of those players that is moved on at the end of the window. Do you know, I'm starting to get excited about this, guys. Come on. Maybe this isn't even true. Maybe this is just like a convenient injury to sack him off for now, to make everybody's position clear, bring in a new keeper or give somebody else a chance, and then we're selling him towards the end of the window. It's wishful thinking, but honestly, let's just hope that's the case. Oh, that's awesome, Chrissy. Chilling on the beach watching the pig. It's cooler on the coast. Oh, I bet that's lovely, mate. Get in there. Luke CX is loving it. How you doing, Luke? So, Andre out for 6 weeks, guys. I'm going to get into the chat for a few minutes, see what you legends are saying. We've got some more news on Mbeumo and some other stuff, Osimhen, whatever. We've got some other stuff which we'll get into. We'll get onto that in a little bit there, Red Devils realm. We're just going to talk about this Onana injury situation, goalie situation. You say Lunin from Real Madrid. We'll talk about this for a minute. Your nan. My nan. Whose nan? Your nan. Ineos will go for a free agent. Probably, mate. It's a possibility. Ramsdale for me, Pig. I don't know if you would take him at United. Honestly, I think Ramsdale's better than Onana. But I'm not a huge lover of Ramsdale. I still think he's got the odd calamity in him. I'm not a massive lover of him, But I would take him over Onana. I would. Definitely. But I would pretty much take anyone over Onana right now. Doris the tea lady, get yourself kitted up, love. Put your marigolds on and let's get you in the nets. Diogo Costa, that's my dream signing this summer. Well, other than Donnarumma, but that's very unrealistic. Diogo Costa is the one that I want. He's the one that I want. He is the one for... Sorry, but he is the one, I think. You wanted Flecken, Piggy, but he's gone to Conehead. Moist is a brilliant word. Yes, John, Victor John. Yep, absolutely. Costa, you take Ramsdale all day. I would take him absolutely over Onana, but it's not my ideal. I think it's basically, if we're being honest, Ramsdale's kind of like, he's just a mid-table goalkeeper, really. He should be playing for like a 10th or 11th place, 12th place side. Similar to Andre Onana. That sort of level. Andre Onana's still a good keeper to a certain degree, but he's just not a top-tier player that can handle the pressure of playing for a huge club like Manchester United and have the quality. We've always said it, the best clubs in the world, they have the best keepers. The world-class talents, they play for the world-class clubs. If you want to be a truly world-class team, I believe you do need to have a world-class goalkeeper. And there's not that many of them, There's 10 or 12 around in the world right now at any given time that can play for all the top clubs, basically. The Courtois, the Stegens, the Oblaks, the Alissons of this world. There's not that many top goalkeepers. There's some very, very good ones, but I'm talking about world class. Man United need world class. We need a Schmeichel. We need a Van der Sar. We need a De Gea. So that's what we need to strive to try and get. Ramsdale is not that. You know what I mean? Ramsdale is a B-Tech Pickford, do you know what I mean, or something, and but nothing wrong with Pickford. Pickford's good, but again, he's not truly world class in my opinion either. So we just need a little bit more bollocks on display there to try and go get somebody better. It doesn't have to be somebody dirt cheap either. I think it should just be the right player, the best player. And actually, for what we need right now, there's talks of Carnesecchi, there's talks of Chevalier and all these guys, and they're 23, 24, those sorts of guys, and they're good goalkeepers, and they could be the next best thing. But actually, what I like right now is the proven aspect of signing a goalkeeper, particularly in that position right now. Somebody who's got the experience, like when we did with Edwin van der Sar. Get Edwin van der Sar type player in there if you can. Now, they're few and far between, but maybe something like a Martinez who's coming over from Villa, who's won the World Cup, who's won the Golden Glove in the World Cup. He's a big, experienced player, which means he can handle the pressure at United. Whereas some players coming in, there's an adaptation period, particularly if they're coming from like League One or they're coming from Serie A. wherever, then it's totally different. It's a totally different league. It takes a bit of time to adapt. Or if they're very young, there's some very good young goalkeepers around, but if they're really young, it's like there is maybe issues with experience, physicality, all that sort of stuff that that comes with time and experience playing. So I would like to think we can sign somebody more experienced. A big name like a Costa would be excellent. Martinez would be excellent. But of course, I would settle for somebody like a Ramsdale if we couldn't get anybody else. Lamens, goalkeeper from Antwerp. Interesting shout. Yeah, interesting shout, lad. Pickford, Carnesecchi, Costa number 1, bring back De Gea. Is Matt Sells available, Pig? I don't know how much for. No, I don't know how much for. But yes, great shout, lad. Button it, Jano. You what? When you suggest Ramsdale, I instantly think of Norman Wisdom. Right. Bono is a genius goalkeeper. Bono, yeah? So do we really need a world-class keeper for a relegation battle? Right, fair point. I mean, I guess, we're talking about trying to be one of the best world-class teams in the world. And eventually that's what we want to get back to being, obviously. And we're going to have to incrementally improve over the seasons. But we're definitely not there yet. So I see what you're saying. Maybe we just need a goalkeeper that's, mid-table to 6th place standard. Pickford has little arms. He's like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, lad. I did a B-Tech. Stop dissing it. Ramsdale signing would be like Kepa signing. Yeah, thing is, that's it as well. I don't want a goalkeeper that's coming in as a cheap option, as a sort of potential backup option. Somebody to give competition to Andre Onana. I don't want that, guys. What good is that? So Ramsdale, I'm not sure if that's an ambitious enough sign-in, or if it sends the message that, yes, we are getting a new number 1, permanent, to be our permanent number 1. That doesn't say that. Ramsdale, picking up Ramsdale at the moment, kind of says that we're getting Ramsdale to be the number 2, and Onana's still going to be the number 1. That's the sort of problem. Or potentially that these two are going to fight it out to see who is number 1. I don't want that. I just want somebody who's coming in to replace Andre Onana as our new number 1, like fully. Rather take a younger keeper, but anything over Onana, yeah, so true. Your dead grandma would be better than Gashnana. Yep, fair enough. We should have a scout about for a young, up-and-coming goalkeeper. Well, Paul of the Red, yes, there is a bunch of, like we said, the Carnesecchis, the Chevaliers, these sorts of guys. They're quite well thought of in their progression, and they're quite young. James Trafford, yep. James Trafford's another one. Hey, Berber lad, what's going on, mate? Welcome aboard the Bacon Express, lad. Get in there, my son. How you doing? Bishnu somewhere as well. What's good, lad? Yes. Kate Cadet, thank you so much. Kate Cadet, lad. I'm in the middle of a transfer news show, lad. Okay? I never enjoy these Kate Cadet, lad. So, I don't know where you think that you can send £2 and then derail the show and get me to look at your bullshit Telegram guff, lad. All right? I don't know where you think you can do that, but you can't, mate. All right? You can't. Mike, my nan. Let's have a look then, Kate Cadet, for fuck's sake. What is this? This better be good, mate. This better be some interesting, Oh, for fuck's sake, mate, really? Hi, Piggy, if you need to cool down in the heat, I found the perfect thing for you this morning in Aldi. Turtle Beach ice cream. What the fuck's the matter with you, mate? You're off your tits. All right? Never message me again. Never message me again, mate. Right, nice one. You're sweating your kipper off here. Oh, you're not the only one there, my son. You're not the only one. Right. Tommy, yes, we've been scouting young Callum McKenna, 17-year-old Scottish goalkeeper. He's been playing regularly for Queen's Park. He's very good, but you need an international experienced keeper. Aye, that's right. They celebrate by getting a cheeky deep fried battered can of iron brew in there, my son. Aye, didn't see that one coming, my son. But no, Tommy, yeah, fair enough. Look, good young keeper's great, but 17, goodness me, it's going to have to be Luigi Buffon reincarnated to be able to do the job for us. At 17, you're right. We do need somebody who's an international level experience, who's good experience, ideally Premier League experience, but it's not required exactly. Wow, by the way, we've got 373 legends in here today. Shout out to the Hamada, all you legends tuning in the chat. We're going to have a big Q&A in a bit at the end. But for now, smash that like button. We're nearly at 200 likes. Every little like helps the channel out. It's free. Get yourself subscribed. We're nearly at 91.3k subs. I'll tell you how many subscribers we are away right now. We are currently only 11 subscribers away from 91,300 subscribers. So get yourself subscribed if you're new here and get involved. Onana trying to escape the window. Maybe that's what it is, mate. You know, we talked about it, the old Luke Shaw phantom injury. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know, though, because his injury's apparently for 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, I guess there is still time, maybe. If it was closer to the 4 weeks, right? Let's say he's out now until the middle of August. Okay, so mid-August. Then he's back training. He could still start the games, I suppose, at the start of September for us, no worries. I'm sure he'll be back by then. If he's not replaced, that is. And I'm sure also that in that time you could see him potentially sold just before the window closes at the start of September, because it closes 1st of September. So I think there's still a chance that you could see him sold if we sign a new number one. So obviously we're going to go about it in 2 ways. We pretty much need to get a replacement goalie now, at least for the short term. I'm not so sure about Bayender. I'm not so sure about Heat and these guys getting the opportunity. I think we should use this opportunity to go and strengthen and get a new goalkeeper anyway. But we're going to go about it either 2 ways. We're going to get a sort of backup-y sort of goalkeeper who's just short-term, gives us depth, gives us competition for places, like a Ramsdale. Or we're going to go ambitious and we're going to try and replace Andre Onana with the intentions of selling Andre Onana as soon as we possibly can, if that's even possible, because nobody really wants him. So that's probably the 1 or 2 ways we're going to go. Hopefully it's the way of going to get an ambitious signing like a Diogo Costa, going for someone there with real big money, with real intentions to be our number one for a long period of time. For a real long period of time, like we need a new De Gea or something like that would be nice. And he's 26, I think, Diogo Costa. So again, he is more expensive, but if you're talking about long-term qualities and stuff, what he can bring to the side for a long period of time, he could be the next keeper for the next 10 years. You just never know. Whereas Martinez is like 32. If you go for somebody older and more experienced, it's good, might be good for the short term, but for the long term, it's not as ambitious, is it? How much you reckon Oblak would cost? Anyone know his release clause? I don't personally, but I'm guessing it would be quite a lot, lad. Yeah, I'm guessing it'd be a lot. Thank you, Luke CX, for getting in here raw, lad, with your super chat there. Thank you for the 199er, lad. He says, do you think the club signs a first teamer in July? I think do you know what? I almost read that wrong. It almost looks like signs a one steamer. We probably are more likely to sign a steamer than a first teamer, to be honest with you, mate. But no, signs a first teamer, yes. It's got to be Mbeumo, doesn't it, lad? Bryan Mbeumo. We'll get onto the Bryan Mbeumo stuff now then. It's got to be Bryan Mbeumo. Look, there's not that much more on Bryan Mbeumo, but I'll give you what we've got from today. And if there is any breaking news, we'll cover it. Thank you, Luke. So, Mbeumo, this is from Mike McGrath earlier on, who said that Bryan Mbeumo is expected to arrive at Manchester United this week before the squad goes on tour, with a breakthrough in negotiations expected in the coming days. Okay, so, obviously this is just sort of more of the same. It's all going on. And Mbeumo to United is still being discussed. It's still hopefully going to go ahead. The understanding at the moment is that Ineos don't want to overpay or be seen overpaying for players because they don't want to set a precedent for other transfers and all that sort of stuff. I think it's just absolutely guff. Show a bit of ambition and get the player. What about Liverpool? Liverpool were prepared to pay 117 million for Wirtz because that's what they needed to get the player that they wanted. It doesn't mean they're then going to have to pay extra for other players. No, each deal has its own merits. Each deal has its own negotiations and values. Look, they got Frimpong for dirt cheap because he had a release clause or whatever it was. They're not going to pay that for every player. Just because they paid 117 doesn't mean they have to pay an extra 5 million for every future signing. That's bullshit. So in this instance, for how silly it is for Manchester United to have waited an extra month, we should have just paid the extra 5 mil that it would have taken to get this guy in a month ago. And then we could have all celebrated that we've had a good start to the window with Cunha and Mbeumo coming in. We would have had these guys working in training and also going on the tour, which would have benefited us. And we could have started to focus on other positions to strengthen as well. So it's probably just, I don't know what it is. It's money grabbing, penny pinching shithousery by the likes of Ineos and co. That's what it is. Because if it was really that important to give Amram the tools, he would have been signed a couple of weeks back. What it is them trying to squeeze down the deal for as much as they can. And like I said yesterday, it probably wouldn't even surprise me if it's just to save an extra £600,000. If he's getting paid 150 grand a week to be a United player and we sign him 1 month ago, well, that's £600,000 extra that we have to pay him. Whereas if we sign him now, just before the tour, and he comes on the plane then and goes on the tour. Guess it doesn't make any difference. And we get to save 600k. You might think that's preposterous. Most people would. I would. I think it is preposterous. But it wouldn't surprise me, is all I'm saying, with these Glazer shithouses and the penny pinching. Maybe they've purposefully not signed him until, you know, just before the tour or even as it's underway. For those reasons, just to save a few extra quid. So I think they're scumbags, guys. I wouldn't put it beyond them. But then again, they did get Cunha done, you know, early doors. So maybe I'm off base. It does seem like Brentford and United are kind of at an impasse where Brentford just want 70 million or whatever figure that they want. And United are trying to work out some structural deals with them where we're saying, hey, we'll give you this up front plus this down the line. They seemingly want all of it up front to reinvest in their team after Thomas Frank's gone. And so they don't really want to bend to United at the moment. They want to try and squeeze us and get as much as they can and get a bit more, which they will be able to. But we should have seen this about a month ago, to be fair. Did we really need this to go on and on and on? Just for it to reach probably a very similar outcome. We might save a few quid, but it's really not that much in the grand scheme of things. It's not worth the lack of movement for us as a team. All the other teams strengthening massively, we've failed to do so. So it's really not worth it from our perspective just to save a couple of million quid, I don't think. Gash owners, gash recruitment, Glinios out. Hashtag Glazers out, hashtag Glazios out. Get these toss bags out of our foosball club, mate. Yeah, that's right. Okay, and Ben Jacobs also says this. Manchester United continue to work on Bryan Mbeumo with the hope that they can have him for their pre-season tour of America. Parties remain in advanced talks. Does anybody know when the plane leaves? Because the first game's on the 19th. I'm guessing they're flying out there, on the 16th, the 17th, the 18th? When are they flying out there, guys? Does anybody actually know? Because I don't know. So if you could inform me, that would be brilliant. But it doesn't give us much time now, does it? To reach an agreement with Brentford, to, you know, potentially get the medical done and everything, all the paperwork's done and everything. Like, it's going to take a bit of time. It really is going to take a little bit of time. Sully Griffin, thank you so much for your super chat there, Sully. Oh, get some love in there for Sully Griffin, guys. Thank you for the super chat. 29.5 degrees Celsius in the sky. Sully comments, hey Pig and friends, I know it's unrelated to this, but Crystal Palace got absolutely shafted. It's an injustice and an absolute gash. Hey, I agree with you, Sully. I agree with you, but they are appealing it, aren't they? I think they're appealing it. It might be overturned. I mean, I know it's a completely different scenario to that whole Leon thing and everything, so it's, I don't know. I really don't know, but it's interesting, lad. It's interesting. Yeah, I know, but they are appealing it, you know, Sully. That is gash, though. MVE Rain, let's go. Yeah, because they've been, relegated down to the Conference League now, haven't they, Sully? MVE Rain, thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel once again. Long-time legend, MVE Rain. Welcome him aboard the Bacon Express with your favourite emoji. Thank you, MVE. Hero. Around the 22nd, well, is that right? I don't know, because... Oh, shit, sorry. Okay, but still, travelling and all that. Yeah, okay, sorry, my bad. The Leeds game's in Stockholm. The Leeds game is in Stockholm, Sweden. I wonder if Zlatan Ibrahimovic will be there. My name is Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and I sound nothing like a Swedish person at all. Zlatan makes his own accent. Zlatan talks how he looks. Zlatan is half lion, half Khabib Nurmagomedov. Zlatan speaks however he desires. Zlatan does not heal like a regular human. Zlatan heals at 10 times the rate of regular normal person. Zlatan is king of Sweden. Zlatan will see you there. I wonder if Zlatan's going to be in attendance, guys. You never know. But anyway... Stockholm after that. Okay, you heard same as Neil 22nd. Oh, thanks for clearing that up with me. So, my bad. I thought we were in America for that game. We're not. We're in Stockholm and then we fly over to America. Okay, well, that gives us a few more days then, I suppose, to get the deal done so he's on the plane at least to go on the tour, because that's going to be difficult. You don't want to be joining mid-tour. That's gash. You want to be starting with the team at the start of the tour. So, at least that gives us a few extra, days. 26th of July, that's our first game in the tour, yeah. So the 22nd, like you guys were saying, is probably accurate. They go out there, settle in, do a bit of warm weather training and all that guff, and also probably meet the fans and do what they do. And 21st of July to the USA, nice one. So yeah, shortly after the Leeds game, they will be travelling to America. So we basically got until the 21st to get this deal done, which I suppose is plenty of time. We've seen other clubs move for these players very quickly. Look at the Kudu deal. Gibbs White, all those stuff. I know there's complications with that, but still just saying, like, Madueke, whatever. Lots of deals have been done quite swiftly this summer. We've got still plenty of time to get this done before then. But ideally, we'd have him for the Leeds game as well, wouldn't we? Unbelievable. You're a 12-month member. Get in there, Jamie Riley. That's banging, lad. I will be bringing back the member comments soon. I basically turned them off because Kurt Gunter gifted out like hundreds of members not too long ago. And we had so many member commenters that it was just, I couldn't even talk without a member comment popping up because there was like 1,000 members or something. My God, it's hot, says the Cake Cadet. Oh, my goodness me. It really is, lad. It's hotter than a camel's hoof right now. Yep, you just realised that, says Billy. Okay, so that's the latest there on Mbeumo. Anyway, United continue to work on it. It's nothing revolutionary or anything, but hopefully we are progressing with this deal slowly but surely. And there is a sense that, well, all of our eggs are kind of in the Mbeumo basket right now, and we need to get it done. And I guess Brentford know that. We kind of know that if we want to have a good, successful preseason in the tour, we at least have to get Mbeumo in. Really, we should be getting others in as well to set us up for the Premier League campaign. But at the very least, get Mbeumo and Acuna on the plane, and then at least we can start to do some new things and, give our fans something to really be excited about for the season. That's it, really. So get him in there, hopefully before the tour. Yes, if we can get him before the 21st, then I guess it's all good, but ideally before the 19th. So there you go. I mean, and Mike McGrath does say that he is expected to arrive at United this week before the squad goes on tour, with a breakthrough in negotiations expected in the coming days. So that's all we've got really on him. It's frustrating, but what can you do, eh? Just got to let it play out, I suppose. And if it can't be agreed, well then, we've pulled our plonker for a whole month, doing nothing when we could have been working on other deals as well. But it goes to show you we are skint, because otherwise we would have been working on other deals as well. We still need a striker, still need a goalie. Maybe if the Mbeumo deal doesn't go ahead for whatever reason, I think it will. We've talked about the reasons why many times this summer already, but just to give you the short answer, or the short reasons, it's like he's on 45k a week at Brentford. He's going to get maybe up to 4 times as much at Manchester United. He doesn't want to stay there. He doesn't want to stay there. He wants to go to a big club like Man United, get paid a lot more for a start, just from a financial career point of view, never mind from a footballing point of view, where you can't compete at all with Brentford, because Manchester United just, or the other way around I should say, because United's about 1 million times bigger than Brentford as a football club. So it's like they can't keep hold of Mbeumo. If he does stay, he'll be unhappy. They're not going to get as much money elsewhere, so they just need to do the deal as well. But it is massively annoying still. It's just got to be one of the most annoying Yeah, I mean, he's just basically reiterating these sorts of stuff. I'm not so sure about that guy, to be honest, and I've stopped using him personally as a source at the moment, based on a couple of things that I've seen over the last couple of weeks. But each to their own. Sure, he's a nice fella, but I'm just saying, I'm just, waiting for the big daddies, the diamond dogs of the transfer market, to have their say. I'm looking at you, Ornstein, these sorts of guys. Okay, so, let's get on with this. This is just one other little bits and bobs of stuff with a loosely linked player that we've got here from Rudy Galetti earlier, that says that Galatasaray have matched Napoli's €75 million price tag for Osimhen with a 3-year payment plan. The maximum structure the team would accept, though they prefer full up front. The offers on the table, Gala believe they've done their best and now await Napoli's response. So I've seen a couple of different things on this deal. So it looks like this deal is still potentially going ahead. Obviously, Napoli want as much as they can get up front. There is a €75 million release clause in his contract, but only if you pay all the money up front, I think. So they can't do that. Galatasaray can't afford that. I've heard a couple of different things. It seems like maybe they're trying to structure it over a few years. I've heard maybe they're going to pay about €37.5 million up front, which is about half, and then the rest over, whatever period of time. This says 3 years, but maybe it's a couple of years or whatever. And they need to show certain bank assurances and all that kind of thing before Napoli may, well, entertain this idea. So there you go. There's another target for Manchester United going seemingly by the wayside. Not that we really wanted him anyway, because he's just too expensive. His price tag's too much and his wages are too much. He is a good player and he would be good. But it's just, I think that deal is a little bit beyond us right now, because we've got so many different areas in the team to strengthen. I think we sort of need to spread our budget, if you want to call it that, across different multiple positions this summer, just to give us as good a team improvement as possible. Because, yeah, we do need goals, and Mbeumo and Cunha are going to bring goals. Osimhen would definitely bring goals, but then if you bought Osimhen, you just wouldn't have any money left for anything else, would you? He's going to wreck you. even if you do manage to sell players. So I think it's more sensible to go and get someone cheaper, maybe like Visser, who's only got a year left on his contract, or Watkins. So it's not really a strong link with Man United anyway, Osimhen. Never has been because of the money involved. But it does look like they're working to get a deal done there behind the scenes, Galatasaray and Napoli, and maybe they can. But it's going to be a structured deal. It's going to be a bit of a deal on the never there. Yeah. Okay. Right, let's get stuck into the live chat then, my friends. Yes, let's get into it raw. If you're just joining us, we'll do a rundown of everything we've discussed very quickly, and then we'll get into the live chat. I'm also going to just go over and shout out everyone that's reposted us on X. Thank you to the legends for reposting us here on X. Links pinned at the top of the live chat. Let's shout out these dons. We've had 9 reposts. Thank you so much to you legends here. Aaron, get in there. Bobby, get in there. The Butcher of Manchester. Aidan Vickery. Sanjay Ramatar. Ashley Vogt. Berber. Kane. And John Boy Cat. Getting in there. Raw boys. Thank you. And girls. Thank you so much, all of you legends, for reposting the show. Simon Stone has just posted a short while ago as well, also confirming that Andre Onana is not expected to be travelling on United's tour. Ooh, let me just get that up on the screen here real quick, guys. So Simon Stone from the BBC also reporting the same thing. Una momento, por favore. Okay, so let me just replace that. Hang on. I've shat it, guys. Why is it so small? Why is it so small? I don't know. That's what she said. Okay. There it is. From the BBC, guys. Anyway, so Andre Onana's expected to travel to USA, but he's not expected to play. Has responded well to treatment. Okay, so that's good. On the mend. Hopefully be back soon. Just not too soon, though, Andre. Just not too soon. Let's get somebody else in. Let's get somebody else in there. But he is expected to... Oh, he is expected to travel. Sorry. I've misread it. I've bloody misread the whole thing. He's expected to travel. I've misread the whole thing, guys. Goodness me, what a melter. I misread it, guys. Andre Onana is expected to travel to the USA, but he's not expecting to play. Right, that's my bad. Has responded well to the treatment. Okay, then. So that's from Simon Stone. So he is actually expected to go on the tour then. So he's not expected to play. Interesting. Yeah, Billy says, is he travelling so we can leave him there? We're going to do a cheeky little deal with LAFC while we're out there, lad, to palm him off, you know what I mean? Onana getting an injury just by walking about. Get rid of it. Yeah. If it's that hot in the sty, I'm thinking of sprinkling some sea salt on his skin for pork scratchings. Well, soon we will start to sizzle a little bit. We're approaching 30 degrees Celsius in the sty right now. Yes. How is Onana playing injured any worse than what he's done already? He plays like he's got a bad back anyway. True. He's not got the best spring, has he? He's not able to make the best saves. He's not the best shot stopper. That's fair. It is very warm. It's too much information, Steve, but I can relate to you, lad. I really can. Let's go, Kimster. How you doing as well? Right, thank you to those legends that reposted us on X there, by the way. I was just looking at the latest updates as well on X while I was there, and that came up. Andre Onana expected to travel to the USA, but not expected to play. The Athletic also reported 19 minutes ago as well. Andre Onana is set to miss Manchester United's pre-season tour. Well, miss it in terms of playing it, right? So that's what we're talking about here. Let me just pop that up on the screen. Andre Onana. Sorry, guys, this is bad cash production, isn't it? What's going on here? Andre Onana set to miss Manchester United's pre-season tour with a hamstring injury. He will now work towards returning to fitness for Man United's Premier League opener against Arsenal. Oh, no! But, like we said, this is a great opportunity for United to go in for somebody else now and potentially sign a new goalkeeper right now to be Andre Onana's long-term replacement. They might just sign somebody as a backup, or they might sign nobody. They might actually just not get anyone, and we might end up just playing Bayender or Heaton or whoever in the pre-season tour, and then as soon as Andre Onana's back fit, he's thrown back in there. That could happen, but that would be absolutely gash. Look, I'm going to have to seriously question Ruben Amorim. Not just Ruben Amorim, but obviously the whole club and the hierarchy. But I've got to question the manager if he doesn't replace Andre before the start of the season. That's it. That's how it is. I've got to be honest how I look at it. You must be mental to think he's good enough to do the job for us in the Prem at the top level here for us. You've got to be mental. So surely if you're the manager, you are absolutely campaigning with the owners and the hierarchy and, the likes of Vivo, Wilcox, Parada, all these guys. You're having these talks behind the scenes. You're campaigning to get a new goalkeeper in right now. Surely that's what you want. So I would have to question Amorim if he doesn't highlight that as a problem area for us this summer. I've just got to be honest. I really hope that he does see that as a problem area, and I hope that this injury increases the likelihood that we do go out there in the window and sign somebody else now. But just saying, if we start the new season, there'll be so many questions asked if Andre Onana's starting in between the sticks there. It'll be a joke. Right, I think that's the latest updates that's come through there. I was just checking to see if there was anything else in regards to any other players. It's all just Andre Onana injury latest news and stuff, so it seems like he will be travelling on the tour, but he won't be playing, obviously, due to injury. The prognosis is he seems to be out injured with a hamstring injury for 4 to 6 weeks. That is the length of time expected that he will be out, so maybe at the start of September he could be back fit, but as we've just heard there, he will now work towards returning to fitness for Man United's Premier League opening against Arsenal. So it could well be a lot before that. It could be for the start of the Premier League campaign. If it's only 4 weeks away, then it could be, couldn't it? If his rehabilitation goes well, I mean, if it's not too serious of an injury, whatever, it seems like it is if it's 4 to 6 weeks, but if it's closer to the 4 weeks, we might actually be seeing Andre start for us against Arsenal. That would be gash. We don't want that. This is the greatest time ever to go and sign a new goalkeeper. Please, United, please. Can we go and sign a new goalkeeper right now? That is on the cards, I think. I think we need a replacement goalkeeper now. Because what if Andre's not back fit there? And plus, what if he is back fit there? That's even worse. You know what I mean? If Andre Onana gets back fit for the Arsenal opener, that's a guaranteed flubberhand moment right there. Goodness me. And also, what if he's not 100%? I'd hate to think what a 70% Onana's like, because I've seen the 100% Onana, and the 100% Onana performs like a 2% Edwin. You know? So, I don't want to see that. Right, let's get raw into the Q&A, guys. Thank you everyone who's hit the subscribe button throughout the show. We're only 4 subscribers away now from 91.3k subs. Is there 4 legends out there who have yet to subscribe? Get yourself subscribed down below, clicking the red button there. We're on here for all the United news daily and nightly. We give all the latest breaking news as and when there is some. We don't just jump on here for the sake of it and discuss absolute spam shite. We cover the latest breaking news as and when it happens, so get yourself involved. This is the sort of, we usually do a lunchtime live around 1 p.m, but we've done it a bit later today because there was no real news until this sort of came out. But Andre Onana set to miss United's pre-season tour with a hamstring injury. Smash that like, smash that subscribe, and get yourself involved in the chat. It's Q&A time. Right, let's have it. Stop buying Ajax players. Gakpo, Stam, Van Nistelrooy. Oh, sorry, yeah. Buy PSV players. I was going to say, those guys didn't play for fucking Ajax. But he says, stop buying Ajax players. Buy PSV players. Interesting. Interesting take there, lad. I say we just stop buying players from the Dutch league. Period, lad. Eric Ten Hag, come get your boys. He's not going to do that, is he? No comment. He wants none of them, lad. Even he's realised how gash these players are that he brought in. Yeah, sorry to burst your bubble. Had it been 4 to 6 months, then perhaps. Well, fair enough. Fair enough, lad. But, you know, we can still hope. We can buy a new goalkeeper, but we are penniless. We still need to sell someone, yeah. Would you rather keep Onana on the sticks another season or sign Kelleher? Definitely Kelleher, but he's already gone to Brentford, is it? I can't stand another season in with Onana in between the sticks. I've just got to be honest, I cannot deal with it, man. You know, I'm sorry, I might have to start watching volleyball or something if Andre Onana's playing in the sticks again for Manchester United. I can't physically handle it. My ticket can't handle it, mate. It's not even just like when he's making the errors. Sometimes, even in the build-up, when the opposition's in our third, I'm worried about Andre Onana. I don't want to be worrying about my goalkeeper before the ball's even got anywhere near the guy. You know, that's what the problem with him. He inspires zero confidence. And he probably does that for his teammates as well. His teammates probably looking around going, fuck me, this guy's a calamity. Doesn't give you any confidence to build, does it? Doesn't really give you that confidence to take risks. So, yeah, Kelleher would have been a much better option, but he's not on the cards, mate. He's already gone this summer, and they would have never sold him to us anyway. Kepa was only 5 mil. Yeah, I wouldn't really want Kepa either. You can't stand our keeper, he's shite, says the Cake Cadet. Really? I didn't know that, Cake. We need an inflatable goalkeeper. Oh, it'd probably be better off just getting like an inflatable Santa Claus out from under the stairs, you know what I mean? We'll end up at Arsenal. Only Eric Ten Hag buy our ex-players to Man United and see him in Man United. Yeah, well, he had a mare with his signings, didn't he, Mohammed? He completely shat on us with his signings and all the money he spent and what he's left us with. He shat on us. Need to go shopping in South America. It's a goldmine, Piggy. Bargains galore. Nice, Wayne. Where are we talking about? Colombia. Onana plays volleyball. Yeah, you need an inflatable keeper, but he just has an inflated wage. He's earning more than Isaac. It is mad, isn't it? Yeah, can you believe this guy cost £50 million? Surely Inter are still laughing over that one. Our defence is quite good, especially after they spent £6 million on Sommer, who turned out to be peace for them. Enough is enough with Onana. Yeah, enough is enough. We can't go on. We can't go on together. How can somebody with a name like Matt Sells not be for sale? Oh, Onana so bad. Xerxes was doing 360 back heel volleys in training and scoring. Onana's championship level. I don't know about that. That's a bit harsh, you know, Christopher Cox, lad. That's very harsh, mate. I think he's at least relegation fodder level in the Prem. TK says, smash the like or Sancho marries your daughter. Oh, my God. Well, Jadon Sancho to Napoli is still on the cards. We haven't really talked about that, but there are some reports. I did see one from 55 minutes ago, in fact, but I didn't really mention it because it's not really anything new. But let's just I'll read it out now, actually, seeing as I just mentioned it. Let me find it again here. Was it from Jamie Jackson? Let me go and have a look. But there was an update on Sancho, just a brief one. Let me just find it here real quick. Sancho. Here's the update. Sancho is shit. I can't find it, but either way, there was just an update saying, you know, there's still interest there from Napoli for Sancho. Can they get this deal agreed? It's all just a concern. I think he's going to be going, isn't he, sooner rather than later. We need to force these players out. We've got to get Sancho gone, Rashford gone, Garnacho gone. That's sort of the minimum. I don't really care if we can't sell Anthony or Højlund or Onana. I really, really don't care. I would love it if they did go, because that would give us more money and it would get these shit players off of our books and it would give us the chance to sign new players. So I would love it if they went. But actually, they're not really toxic, are they? You know, Andre Onana's a hard-working, nice guy. Højlund gets his head down, works hard. He's just absolutely gash. You know, he really is gash. And then Anthony Dos Santos, again, he wants to go to Betis. I think that is going to go ahead, but they are trying to sort of reach that place where they can afford the deal at the moment, which they can't right now, it seems. So they're still working on that. But if those guys stay, it's like they're hard-working players. They're not going to really cause any waves. They're not going to cause any issues. They'll just be here until we can eventually sell them. But if we have to reintroduce Garnacho, Rashford or Sancho back into the squad, then this team's going to turn into an absolute toxic shit show again. Can't be doing with it. We can't be doing with it. Johan McCabe, thank you so much for hitting the subscribe button there, Johan. Welcome aboard to the channel, mate. Thank you very much for hitting the subscribe. That's awesome. Holding out for Barca. We're talking about Rashford. Yeah, so Rashford, the Gashford, his situation is he is just still twerking for Barcelona. That's who he wants. They have an interest in him. You know, they did have a couple of other targets, Nico Williams, Luis Diaz. Those targets haven't materialised. So it seems like Rashford is firmly on the cards for Barca, but will they be able to afford him? There's all sorts of concerns about, can they register players? Have they got the finances for it? You know, all this guff, they're going to have to deregister players and, you know, all the rest of the Barca merry-go-round of circus stuff that happens there in terms of their finances. So you just don't know whether it can happen. But in terms of a loan move, it could happen. But I'd like to see at least a loan with an obligation to buy, or at least an option to buy, I suppose. But ideally with an obligation to buy, because if you're really serious, you're trying to sell players right now. You're not trying to just loan players out. It doesn't really benefit us much. We're not going to get a lot of money up front. Yes, we're going to be saving wages money, and that's a lot of money, especially for someone like Rashford, if you can save £1.4 million a week by not paying his wages if he's out on loan. But it doesn't really help you right now for what we need, which is transfer funds. We've still got to sign new players and get them in and increase our quality in the team, and we haven't really done that this summer. We are one of the worst for it. It's us, it's Villa, there's one or two others in the league, but most teams are making strides. Most teams have signed a lot of new players, you know, and certainly the top sides, the top six sides, have all been very, very busy. Even Spurs are getting at it now. So we are much, much, much far behind those guys, very, very much so. Thank you so much for the super chat there, Stuart Zeckman, you legend. Thank you, Stuart Zeckman. He says, given that Altay Bayindir is another serial fumbler and paralysis victim with a high XG against his own club, is limping Onana your best option? Assuming Ineos transfer clownery continues, obviously. Anybody else get the impression that was written with ChatGPT? I don't know. Hey, Stuart Zeckman, are you AI, lad? You're a legend. Thank you, Stuart Zeckman. Okay, so, yeah, look, Altay Bayindir is not somebody you can rely on. He, in my opinion, I wouldn't say if he's a serial fumbler. I'd say he's a sporadical fumbler. We've only seen him sporadically so far. Andre is a serial fumbler, you know, but I think Bayindir's only at the very most an occasional fumbler, because it's not really been that many times that we've seen him. He may well turn out to be indeed a serial fumbler like his teammate Onana, but right now I don't think you can label him with such, you know. Paralysis victim, that's also a bit harsh, but I mean, I guess he hasn't been the best at times when we've seen him, but he's had a couple of good games here and there. I don't like him as much as going to sign a new player. I don't see Bayindir being the option for us for the tour or going to the start of the new season if that's what's needed. No, I think we've just got to sign a new number one. Realistically, if we can sell a couple of these players we've talked about, you know, Sancho, Garnacho, these guys, anyone really, we can sign a new goalkeeper. But I think we are clearly out of cash. We've spent 62.5 million on Matheus Cunha. We're going to spend probably close to 65 or 70 million on Mbeumo in the end. That's 130 million spunked up the wall right there in the window. And then we haven't sold anyone, and we've missed out on Champions League, so there you go, our budget is screwed. We're only going to sign a new goalkeeper, I think, or a new striker if we do indeed sell players. Thank you so much for your super chat there, Stuart Zeckman, you legend. You got a way with words, lad. You got a real way with words there, my son. That's beautiful. In this window, Ivor, we really have become that. We've so become that, lad. It's awful. Can't sell anyone, can't buy anyone. Can you give us a rundown who's bought who, Don Piglioni, where we are, bottom? I actually did that the other night. I basically went and had a look at all the transfers, you know, that everybody had signed. And, you know, we were right down there, though. So the best ones, obviously, the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, those sorts of teams. They've all done well. They've all signed lots of good players. We went through all the players and did the list the other night, so I don't want to bore anyone again. But yeah, we are just know we've only signed Mbeumo and Diego Leon. And Diego Leon was sorted out last year. And Diego Leon, to be fair to him, he may well be good enough to play in the first team now, but he may well not be. Maybe he needs time still to develop and, you know, obviously bed in. And I hope he gets chances in pre-season and he impresses and he looks like maybe somebody who can compete there for us. That would be great. But that is kind of wishful thinking. You know, realistic, we've only signed Mbeumo for the first team. Sorry, Matheus Cunha. We need to sign Mbeumo. Realistically, we've only signed Cunha for the first team so far. So we are miles behind everyone. That's all you need to know. Please take Onana's photo down. I'd rather see Judge Judy than him. I don't mind Judge Judy, mate. Smart woman, mate. Smart woman. You know? Pod could sign Edwin van der Sar or Peter Schmeichel for goalkeeping coach. Love it. I say Edwin van der Sar for, you know, like director of football, lad. No, that wasn't AI. I thought all of the verbiage myself. That's beautiful, Stuart. That is really beautiful. You, sir, you are a poet, lad. John Ruddy on a free. Joe Hart come out of retirement. Well, these are probably the type of signings that United would likely make. Onana reminds me of a Calamity James. Well, yes, he is a calamitous goalkeeper, lad. So I see where you're going with that. Nice one. So we're doing about the same as usual. We are indeed. Lots of business done by other teams, not so much from us, lad. I mean, we are working on Mbeumo, right? So that could get done in the next few days. Then we've signed Cunha and Mbeumo. It could be worse, but it's not enough considering where we finished. What really pisses me off about it is that we finished 15th. We have no Europe. This is the time when they should really be doing loads of business at the start of the window to sign lots of players, get us ready for the new season and improve. You know, that's what you'd expect us to do because we are Man United and we finished way down there in 15th. But we're actually not doing that. It's the other clubs that are doing that, the clubs that finished first, like Liverpool. They finished first, they won the league, and they've signed loads of improvements in their team. Chelsea, City have done really good business in this window as well. You know, they're all up there and they're doing the business to strengthen. And we haven't actually strengthened, and we're the team that needed strengthening the most out of all those, you know, teams. So it's a nightmare, isn't it? Onana brings a wave of sadness over me. Oh, yeah. Elanga deal to Newcastle should be a wake-up call to Nacho. Both wingers, same age and a top 16 with a good manager. Preferred Elanga, even knowing you're available. Garnacho is a big problem for the club. Spot on, MB Creator. You're absolutely right. His ego, his personality. Hopefully this is a bit of a wake-up call for him, a bit of a humbling, you know, because I think you're right. You know, you would have thought there would be lots of clubs lined up to go and sign him, but I think his attitude is a problem, and he thinks he's much better than he actually is. We are Man United acting like Brighton, feeling robbed of our history and culture. You know what, though, Ivor? Unfortunately, I would love it if we acted like Brighton now. We're even worse than that, mate. We're even worse like that. We're acting like Mike Ashley's Newcastle back in the day. Brighton actually do bits, don't they? Brighton buy well, sell well. Brighton are doing bits. Play good football. Nothing wrong with Brighton. Maybe United have already agreed a deal with Brentford for Mbeumo, but our owners are taking weeks to announce it, so they don't have to pay his wages. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. I think it's a possibility there, SBO. 8 million's the real price. Onana's not injured. He's currently getting a divorce. His wife's leaving him on account of his inability to hold her. Oh, Johnny! Onana not good for blood pressure. Casper floating around on a free. Interesting, I know. Yes, it would be awesome to see the son of Schmeichs play for us one time. But is he... he must be like 40 now himself. Or getting on. 38, is he? Onana far worse than David James. I agree with you. I agree with you, actually. David James was a bit of a calamity, but later on in his career, he was a bit better, wasn't he? Like when I remember he was quite good for England later on in his career. Shit for Liverpool though. When we do get some Elanga cash, yeah, we're getting. I think is it 6 to 8 million we're getting from the Elanga deal, so pretty decent money's coming in. So we've got that, yeah. We're obviously once those deals are all done, that's it. Barcelona told ter Stegen to leave. Used to be world class, a real competitor for Neuer in the German squad, but he's been bad and injured in the past 2 years. Cunha is proper quality. Yeah, nice one, FC Groningen lad. Cunha is proper quality, lad. Yeah, looking forward to seeing some meaty things from him. Wait a second. That sounded a bit #sus, didn't it? But you know what I mean. I'm looking to see some great performances from him. Chelsea so well, getting good transfer cash in. No, I know, yeah. United needs Jesus. I probably will do a watch-along for the Club World Cup final tomorrow night. Yeah, I should do. It'd be rude not to, wouldn't it? Yeah. He's tripped over a box of Frey and Bentos pies. Luke Shaw left in the changing room. Frey and Bentos. Oh, is that like the posh Marks and Spencer version? Zayn Miassi, thank you for your super chat. Why don't you sign Greyish? Circle completed his. Talking about Gandalf the Grey, are you? Nah, Grealish, yeah, Grealish. Jack Grealish, hey, look, I like Jack Grealish, you know. I actually... I think he would be a much better option than a lot of the guff we've got. But we don't need Grealish now, Zane, because we're signing Mbeumo and Cunha. If we were going to sign Grealish, he'd be playing in the 10 for us. That's where he'd be playing. In my team, he'd be playing like the left-sided 10. So we're not going to sign him because we've got shitloads of number 10s. That's why we're not going to sign him. The real question is, why don't we sign a proper striker and a proper goalkeeper, mate? That's the real question. Yeah, thanks for that. Same talking shit as usual, says Jommy. Oh, United getting done for tapping up Deirdre, the teenager, to replace high-wage Doris. Onana be ready at the start of the season and Mbeumo's not going to United, whatever the media is reporting, thinking the opposite. That's a little bit of a negative stance to take there, Dick Hickson. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of a tough stance to take, but no, fair enough, Richard, lad. Onana be ready at the start of the season. Yeah, maybe. I still think we should be taking this opportunity to go and sign a new goalkeeper, seeing as we should definitely be replacing Onana anyway. And I'll have serious concerns about Amorim and Ineos and everybody if they can't see that Onana's a big problem in this club and needs to be replaced for this season. And Mbeumo's not going to United. And Mbeumo's going to United there, Richard, lad. Come on. And Mbeumo's going, lad. It's just not quite agreed yet. They're not that far away. Ultimately, we've had the last offer of 62.5 million combined turned down, 55 up front, 7.5 down the line, rejected. How much more do they want? Surely they can't be asking for 75 million. The maximum it's going to be is 70, but realistically, it's probably going to be closer to 65 up front, and it's a deal. So it really isn't that far away, I don't think. Nobody else is in for him, are they? Nobody else is in negotiations to sign him. You get that pig, but the point of our heritage is winning and falling below who we are. Well, yeah, I mean, that's happened for 20 years now. Well, not 20 years, sorry, but since Fergie left at least. The Glazers have been here 18 years now, though, haven't they? Haven't watched it yet. I need to watch it back, lad. Yes, thought it was tonight. I missed it as well. Yes, I totally missed it. Once Wimbledon finishes tomorrow, the transfers will get done. All our lot at Wimbledon. Zayn Miyasi, thank you so much for your super chat as well. Zane says, why did we sign Madueke? Make sense, it not, or yes? Are you full on Yoda these days? He's full on turned into Yoda, hasn't he? Feisty one you are. You know, Zane, Madueke, I think it's a good signing for you guys. You know, obviously young, potential. You know, bit of a headless chicken, in my opinion. It's a lot of money to pay for him. I don't know why you paid that much money. It makes sense to a degree as a squad addition, yes. I don't know if he's going to be good enough to challenge the likes of, you know, Martinelli and Saka and these guys to starting in the wide positions there for us. I can't really see it, but as depth in the squad, I guess it's good enough for the future. Isn't Martinelli wanted by various different clubs in Saudi as well? Like, isn't that on the cards? Maybe that's a possibility why as well. But nice one there, Zane. Thanks for the super chat there. By the way, this is not an Arsenal transfer news show, mate. Nobody gives a shit about you Gooners and your transfer news guff. I think you have mistaken this for Arsenal Fan TV, lad. Maybe you should pop over there, broski, eh? Oh, even the Tour de France is crap now. They have little sponsors on their shirt. Yeah, and these Ineos melts. Ian Navarro, what an absolutely gastastic, rotten abomination of a festering shit club this is. Ian, you've also got a great way with words, and I can't deny what you said. This is a real festering club at the moment, run by festering melters who don't know what they're doing. Yeah, you get in between its vibes. Feels awful convenient that it's exactly the length of the transfer window. Yeah, that is a good point, isn't it, Dino? I know. It does feel sus. Is this to just take away, you know, the... that's probably what it is, Dino. It's probably just to take away the story of Onana being sold this summer or replaced. Do you know what? That's probably what it is, actually, mate. There's me trying to be all positive earlier on, saying that, you know, maybe this means we have to sign a new goalkeeper. But probably what this is just some sort of guff situation where, I don't know, yeah, they've made it seem so he's definitely injured for the whole window, so he can't be sold. So you know we're sticking with Andre, and as soon as the season starts, he'll be back fit. That's horrible, isn't it? Oh, no. You've planted the seed of doubt in my head. This is how the Glazers and Glinios and these guys probably think. Hence, not paying him Mbeumo for a month saves them 600k in wages, lad. We're hopeless. We need a miracle. Go get John Victor. Yeah, we might as well for the money, lad. Sit them Gooners down. Absolutely, lad. Zane, Kudus, Arsenal need a winger. It's that simple. Yep. Martinelli had trials at United, Piggy. Did he really? What, back in the day, you mean? Nobody in here cares about Arsenal except you, Zane, especially when you're signing players and we're haggling over pennies. True. We don't want to know about your new signings, to be honest. Shaw and Delict can two sandwiches today. You said 2 weeks ago Thomas Frank went to Tottenham and told them Mbeumo would be 65+ million. That was told to me by a good Tottenham fan. They pulled out because he wanted United only. Yeah, that's it. There's other clubs been interested in him earlier on. Newcastle were interested as well, apparently. But it's just financially, they're not prepared to go as high as we're prepared to go. Yeah, well said, Billy. What's he doing watching the United channel? Shows how bad Arsenal are. Is there a chance the Mbeumo deal gets put on hold because the club now needs the money to get an Onana replacement? Nah, I don't think so. They'll cheap out on an Onana replacement blatantly. Plus, you know, Mbeumo's 99% done. I guess if Brentford are really going to be hardballing us and not moving an inch, they might walk away. We've gone over this. We don't need a number 10. We actually don't. We've signed Cunha, and we had Bruno, we had Armad, we got Xerxes, we got Mount. We've actually got shitloads of players who can play for number 10. We don't need a number 10. So, in reality, it's like they've got to do business with us. Otherwise, they risk losing the deal, risk having a want-away player. And also, we can just go and sign a striker then with 70 million quid. Fuck me. We could get a great striker. Or a striker and a goalkeeper for that 70 million. So, you know, in some ways, Brentford are playing a very daring game here by pushing United all the way here. Because, in a way, financially for us, seeing as we haven't been able to sell anyone, to sign other players in other positions. Financially for us, it probably doesn't even make sense for us to complete the Mbeumo deal now. It probably makes more sense for us to sign Watkins and Martinez from Villa for the same amount of money. Or somewhere along those lines, you know, that sort of a deal. Probably would take that amount of money to get two players in and sort two problems out for us. We don't actually need the number 10. I want Mbeumo, and Mbeumo's going to be great for us. And Mbeumo scored 20 goals last year, 8 assists. Guy's clearly a baller, 25. I want him. But I'm just saying it's not actually the most key paramount position in the team to improve. The goalie and the striker to me is, and we've already got number 10 in Cunha this summer. So it is a strange one. I figured we'd be getting Mbeumo and bolstering our number 10s because we would be signing other players. in the other positions like striker and goalie. Why didn't you sign Kudu? Well, I mean, my take on it is that what Amorim's looking to do is play with, like number 10s and wing backs, and not necessarily like proper out and out wingers. I don't know. I don't know, Zane. I don't know why he didn't like him. He obviously decided that he wanted to get Mbeumo. Do you know what I'm saying? It's that simple, really. He's got his players that he wants to go and get. He gives those players to the recruitment team. They discuss it. They all decide that it's a good idea, and then they go and try and sign him. That's what's happened. So, I'm sure he was on the list. He might have been down the list, but he might not be the number one choice. It seems like Amorim's number one choices this summer were obviously Koeman and Mbeumo. Those are the guys we've highlighted, earmarked to go and get right now. It makes sense because they're right in their primes. They're Premier League proven, and they scored a bunch of goals between them last season. So it does make a lot of sense. Schmeichel's Celtic vomit face. Oh, please take Onana picture down. Okay, I'll take the Onana picture down. Ready? There you go. Why is the Mbeumo deal taking so long for a club like Manchester United? This is embarrassing. Yeah, well, there you go. They're asking for too much. It's that simple. John Victor's a possibility. Let me go check the latest news, guys, see if there's any lunchtime breaking stuff going on. Well, we've still got 412 legends in it, and we're nearly at 300 likes. Everyone, take a second to hit the likes. We need 8 more likes to get to 300. Let's see if we can smash past 300 likes on this stream. Give us a good old Bacon Brigade like spike. Nice one. And also get yourself subscribed if you're new. We're not far away from 91.3k subs. Let me have a refresh. And we've done it! Get in there, my son. 91,300 subscribers. Completed it, mate. There you go. Thank you, everyone, for subscribing as well. So we're definitely going to be back on here tonight around 9:45 p.m, 10 p.m-ish for a late night evening rundown of the transfer news and goings on anyway. But we will stick on here a bit longer today. We're having a great chat. It's a hot, hot day, though, in the sty. 29.8. Pretty much when this hits 30, I'm out of here. So let's have a little chat and continue to do this. But do smash a like. Do smash the subscribe. Click the bell icon. Get yourself involved for the streams. We're on here daily. Nice one. You feel sorry for the Brentford player as he would not know if he's coming or not. I know. It must be very tough for him. That's it. He wants to go and settle in and get a new house and surroundings and everything settled. But now he's going to have to do it in a whirlwind, potentially, when the season's already underway. Well, hopefully it's not going to be underway, but certainly the tour could be underway before it's even agreed or done. Yep, 9 million. There you go. Exactly, lad. Another day without transfer market movements. The board believes that we win the Champions League. Disgraceful, isn't it, Francisco? Of all the teams who should be doing heavy business this summer, it's us. We've been to Rome recently twice to negotiate a deal for Milis Villar. Surely we came close to signing him. Maybe we should go back and just get the deal over the line. Interesting shout there, Tommy Boyle, lad. Yeah, it's an interesting shout. Is he any good? I don't really. I haven't seen anything about him, lad. I know you watch Serie A, don't you? So you let us know. BSR are in good position here. Either they get 70 million from United or they keep Bryan Mbeumo in the first team. Pretty good either way. That's true, but Brentford will be running a dangerous game there. They'd have to give him a new big money contract to keep him happy, surely. Because surely Mbeumo's not going to be happy to turn down a deal to go to United where he's going to get paid 4 times as much. Not only is it a much bigger club with a bigger future, but, he can make so much more money. He'd have a much bigger contract. So surely if he's going to stay at Brentford, they'd have to do what, like Nico Williams did at Atletico, where they just signed him up to a new big deal. Surely that's what would have to happen. Kudu only wanted Tottenham. Lord Ronnie says actually agree. Put Fred the Red in goal now. Negotiating to the last penny, you guess. Yeah, that's true. If I was going to Carrington, what leaders are there apart from possibly Fernandes and Maguire? It's proper shite. Yeah, I mean, probably players like De Ligt, Martinez are quite good characters. Ugarte maybe, somebody who's got a bit about them, but none of them are really like great candidates for captain. The temperature in the sty now is 29.9. You know my theory by now, Mbeumo was a glimpse of what could have been. The club was planning for Bruno's exit. After 3 weeks of silence, Mbeumo chooses United. Amorim begged Bruno to stay. Yeah, fair play to, MB. It's an interesting point. You could be onto that, really. We were signing 2 number 10s, Koeman and Mbeumo. It makes sense that they would be replacing the outgoing Bruno. Bruno decided to stay. Amorim wanted to keep him, and so he stayed as well, didn't want to go. And maybe you're onto something there. I mean, if we pulled out of the Mbeumo deal, it wouldn't surprise me, but it would infuriate me unless we were to go and sign like an amazing striker, an amazing goalkeeper right now. But we won't do that. Why does Andre Onana look like a pie eater in every photo like that? Does he? I don't know, mate. You sure you're not confusing him with Luke Shaw? Kudu wants to play under Frank. Yeah, there you go. Interesting. It's time for Bayender to show what he's made of. He should get chances in the tour. Yep, John Victor, get him in. Why not? What's the risk? That's why he wanted us to. It's a no-brainer. Very decent price. Yes, I believe he is Afif. He plays in Brazil for Botafogo, so I believe he is Brazilian. Yep. Bravo. It's funny because a lot of Brazilians have like old English names, don't they? There's a lot of like Portuguese names as well, like, you know, Rafael dos Santos de Silva and stuff like that. But there's also a lot of like old English names in Brazil for some reason, like Arthur and Henry and fucking Oscar and stuff like that. Fred. Yeah. That's it. There's like a lot of old English names. Like John Victor doesn't sound like a Brazilian goalkeeper, really, does it? If you said United are signing John Victor, you'd be like, where are they getting him from? Stoke-on-Trent. You know what I mean? But he has got a, I think he is Brazilian. Where's Mrs. Gascoigne? Sorry, Mrs. P today. She's out in, I don't know where she is actually, but she's in the house somewhere, or possibly out in the garden. I'm not sure. But it's so hot here today. Yeah, we're going to have some nice grub in a bit, hopefully. Piggy, are you melting because United or the hot weather? Both. Yeah. Kate says, this club's shit. We will go down this season unless we sign some players soon. I second that. You know, well, not necessarily go down. I don't see how it could be worse than last season, but we won't improve that much unless we sign some players, you know, because we can't expect many different things if we still got the same squad, essentially. Go around 21st, 22nd of July, Johnny, play West Ham, Everton and Bournemouth. Yep, got to get Mbeumo done for then. And Mbeumo saga's driving me so mad. Yep, there are reports from outlets saying that, you know, this deal's still being worked upon. Ben Jacobs says we continue to work on it, hopefully getting before the preseason tour. Also, as we've mentioned, Mike McGrath also saying the same. So hopefully, you know, hopefully it can get done. It's so annoying. De Ligt was the former captain of the Dutch squad, but lost his place after he lost his spot at Bayern. Yeah, De Ligt would be a decent candidate. Definitely a good shout. You agree we need to sign some players? Hulk. Hulk. Yes, good old English name, Hulk. Fred. Best Brazilian name was Fred. Henry was French pig. Should be, but he's not. They don't want to risk an injury. Now, come on, what other Brazilian names are there? Ronald. Yeah, well, Ronald that's where that comes from, is Ronald. Yeah, like Dino, doesn't that just mean like little Ronald or something? If we get Mbeumo with Cunha, then Bruno can do his own job instead of doing everyone's. Good shout, good shout. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Bruno. Where will he be playing? Will he be playing at a 10 and maybe Mbeumo at striker or something crazy? Or will Bruno be playing at the 6? Sorry, not the 6, the 8. Yeah, probably. Who knows? You feel like Chevalier might be available for 40 million would be perfect. It seems a lot of money, Saeed, though, for Chevalier. I know he is good. I know he does it good. He's only young, 23 or whatever he is. But it seems a lot of money for someone who's unproven in the Prem at this stage, you know? Socrates is the best Brazilian name. Ah, it's a banger, yeah. It's actually a Greek name, but I know what you're saying. Yeah. Stone Coldinho. You think United were put in a position by Mbeumo announcing publicly he's choosing us over Arsenal? It's a bad look publicly to the player. Yes, it is. I agree with you. Hey, listen, guys, we're going to wrap up this stream now anyway. We've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes. I am pretty roasting. It's hot as fuck. It's nearly 30 degrees in here. The sty is getting a bit insufferable. So we're going to wrap up the stream. We've been on here nearly an hour and 20 minutes. So big ups to you, legends. Thank you so much to all of you for getting in here. Do us a favor before you go. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Click the bell icon for notifications. Do us another favor and smash the like button before you go. And also, you can come back after this video's finished and get your thoughts and opinions in about anything we've discussed. As always, we'll be back on here about 9:45 tonight or sometime around there. Spam Bacon Brigade emojis and Glazers out emojis in the live chat there, please. Spam the emojis of Glazers out. Nice one, Daz, there. Yes, and everybody else who's in the live chat, thank you so much for tuning into the show. Absolute set of legends. Big up all the legends, all the moderators like Daz Salford, Mikhail Kramer. Big ups to you guys, everyone who's got in here. All the members in green as well, people like Stuart Zeckman, Paul Warby getting in there, Rawby, Daz Salford, Jamie Riley, etc. FC Groningen lad. Shout out to the new member here today, MVE Rain and Billy and everyone as well. Big ups to the member squad. And everybody else who's in here, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Come back after, have your say, get your thoughts and opinions in there about anything we've discussed in this video. Follow us on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch and Kick at Flying Pig United. on all those places. Links are in the description. Legends. Thank you, Neil Crode. Thanks for the chat, everyone. Great chat as always. Really enjoyed that. Thank you so much to all of you for tuning in. Big ups to the live chat posse and the legends of the channel. And remember, we'll be back later on. And also remember, nice one, Mikhail. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be. I am doing a show later there, Lee Dixon will be back on. Absolutely. About 9:45, 10 p.m. If there's anything breaking before then, big breaking news, we'll jump on as well. So make sure you click the bell icon so you don't miss it. Thank you for reposting, Vincent. Right, guys, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com. So check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.